Dino,
Yeah,
welcome. Thank you for coming here. I appreciate it.
thanks for having me.
Do you want to give the people maybe a little bit of background on you and who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so I'm 23. I'm a footballer with Longford, and I'm also in my final year of my degree in Maynooth. I'm studying biomedical science. So yeah, this year's kind of been all about kind of balancing the two and trying to pursue my goal while I'm trying to make sure I get my education as well.
Busy man, very busy man.
Yeah.
But I think that's good. And bring me back to, I know we spoke before you actually joined and you came on board. What were you kind of dealing with at that time that made you think about even getting involved?
Geez, I think it's a few years ago when I kind of came across, I'd moved home. You were kind of, I remember seeing you were in a similar situation to me. And um, yeah, I was kind of like stuck in this hole essentially. And I was kind of like, I knew I wanted to make a change. And I was kind of like, how do I go about starting this? Or what do I have to do to kind of get the ball rolling? And um, yeah, it was one of them ones you're kind of like, you start to become more aware and you're kind of like looking at all this stuff and all this information. You're like, where do I go? And I remember you kind of, you start up the blog. And I remember really kind of, I don't know, like it connected with me, it resonated with me straight away. And yeah, it's like you were in a similar position. You were like going through an injury. I kind of more so at a crossroads trying to get my career, to kick off my career and get going. And yeah, so it's kind of, I think that's where it all started. And then obviously you finished up over there, you came home, you started to build a brand. And yeah, we had a chat and I was very eager to get on board, I think, yeah.
It's funny how so many people still talk about that vlog. Like I have people come to me and say, "Oh, I remember you wrote that email about this, about that," and like I hadn't a clue what I was writing about. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing though. It was like raw, like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like scripted. You know, when you read all this stuff, it's like, oh, this is the way to achieve your goals. Just to like follow this, like start to finish, and you'll achieve what you want to achieve and stuff. It was just like more like your thoughts on a page, and then from that, it might be like taking one or two little things, and then answering questions that I might have had about myself, and seeing you answering them, and just kind of ideas and stuff. So
I think like the rawness I'm trying to maintain throughout the entire brand and throughout the entire every single piece of content, like this is raw, you know what I mean? And I feel like people appreciate that. Like people can see the fakeness. People can see, let's say, other coaches or whatever posting the before and after. Is like we know what goes on, but people don't want to talk about it, you know. And I think the mental transformation, let's say, that you've gone on the past 10 weeks is hard to see in a before and after photo.
definitely.
And it's probably impossible to see in a before and after photo, you know. But I think that transformation is more important. And I think definitely over the past 10 weeks, the transformation that I've seen in you in terms of your awareness level has been crazy. You know what I mean? Take me back to then when you joined that first week. What was kind of going through your mind knowing that you were about to maybe go on this mad journey over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think I was I'd obviously gone on a bit of a journey myself, kind of got to a point, and we talked about it and stuff, and kind of felt like I'd stagnated a little bit. I was kind of like stuck at this. Like I wouldn't say I was in another hole or like I was starting again. It was just I was kind of felt like I'd made strides, but I had kind of stuck at like a level. And I think most athletes or any like high performance people, they want to like find any way they can to go like to get them extra little percents or to improve even the smallest bit, because it's the fine margins that make the big difference. And yeah, like probably a little bit, you're a bit nervous because you're so used to, I'm a very, what's it, kind of stuck in my ways sort of person. Like I'm very
We know that.
you
love your routine.
Yeah, I love my routine, and it's been the same for the last couple of years. So it's kind of like taking that, you have to take risks, take chances, and try different things. And obviously, it helped for me that I knew you and I knew what you've been doing. So yeah, I'm still a little bit nervous. Like it was a new way of training. You're taking in more stuff. We're working on mindset stuff, and some of that stuff can be challenging. It can be it can be uncomfortable as well. I'd say, like, trying to answer these questions that you might have, And
But I think it's important though, isn't it? Like, I feel like sometimes when you ask those uncomfortable questions, you get the real answer. So I feel like sometimes when you gloss over the fact, or you gloss over the real issue, because a lot, like you said, these high performers, these athletes, these entrepreneurs, they want to get to that next level, but something is holding them back and they can't figure it out. When in reality, it's them, it's their mind, and it's the fact that you have no, or you don't have full control over your ability to actually achieve your goal. And I think that's what I wanted to get across for you lads, was like, you can do it and you have the ability to do it. And I just like to probe and poke and ask certain questions to get the answers that you already know. You know what I mean?
yeah,
What were some of the questions that you had that you kind of needed answering over the last couple of weeks?
I think any sort of person that has like this right realization or wants to make a change. Well, I'm obviously going back to the start now. I think you have questions, and sometimes you don't know how to answer them questions. It could be like how, like it could be in terms of training, it could be mindset questions, it could be just everyday life, all that sort of stuff. So I think it's like having someone that's gone on that sort of journey, or their own journey, and to be fair to you, like been able to, I might have questions and I've gone to you and been like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about this all week, or I see this way, and then you've gone to me, well, how about if you look at it this way, and we'd be going on for
an hour.
yeah, a couple of them have been a couple hours long, and you're kind of going, right, gee, I didn't see it that way, but yeah, now when I think about it, and it's just like having someone like that, and having someone that asks those questions of you, or gets you kind of thinking and gets you answering questions. And I think like the biggest one for me was like, I know you kind of know what your goal is, but how often do people like sit down and go, this is the goal, this is what I want to do, but they don't do the steps before that, where it's like, right, what do you need to do? What do you need to do to achieve that goal? What are the habits? What are the and again, doing that by yourself can be challenging, because you're like, not that you'd always be honest with yourself when you're sitting down, but you can kind of like, I don't know, take little shortcuts, or kind of gloss over parts that you know will take a lot of work. So having someone there like you that's on me the whole time, not on me the whole time, but you know what I mean, just holding you accountable is so important, I think.
And I think people who, let's say, were in a similar position to you, let's say 10 weeks ago now, like if someone was watching this that was in that position, like what would you say to them if you could give them one little nugget to almost get them to start, like get them to get going on their goals? What would you say to them?
I think I'd say it doesn't matter kind of where you are right now, because I think so many people think, oh, I need to get to a certain level, or I need to be at this stage to be able to start, or to be able to pursue what I want to pursue before, like let's say before coming to someone like you or the brand. They're like, oh geez, I don't think I'd be able to go there yet. And I think I'd just say, doesn't matter where you are, what level you're at, if you have a willingness to make a change, or to go on a journey, go for it. Like what's stopping you? Do you know what I mean?
I think that's so important. Like a lot of people are scared, and they're scared to admit that they have big goals. And like, you know, when you come to me and say you have X goal, and it doesn't matter what it is, like the system is still the same, regardless of whether you want to be a pro footballer, whether you want to win the Ballon d'Or, whether you want to build your business, or whatever it is. And I feel like having a place where you can come and admit that goal, because I think sometimes you can have the goal, but you can also maybe not want to tell anyone about it because it's so far-fetched. I think people who have mad goals are scared to admit that. And when you come to a place where the goal doesn't matter, the system to actually get into the goal matters. And when you go through that system, step by step, you do the work that you just said, the hard questions, the why, what happens if you don't actually achieve your goal, like those just give you that confidence to be able to go make it happen, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think, like I said, over the last couple of weeks, you've done a lot of work on yourself that you may have done and you may have unconsciously done, but I feel like consciously, or you've been like made aware of all the things that will get you to your goal. And like I said, it's only a matter of time until things happen. Obviously, we've had a little hiccup with the injury at the moment, but I think that's only part and parcel of the sport that you're going to play and the goal that you're going to achieve. And you know, I mentioned to you how this is only a little another hole in the journey that you're going to go on, and it's only a matter, or like in terms of your journey, we're bound to have another setback.
Yeah.
You know, so you just now develop the skills and the identity and the person who's able to get out of this injury. So then when it does happen down the line, you're sweet. You have the ability to get out of it.
Yeah, and I think like people think that it's like a case of you have to change like everything about your life, or everything has to be changed if I want to go on. And that's something that I've, even the last 10 weeks, some of it's just been little things, little nuggets, little things that I can implement. Because like I feel like a lot of people go for it straight away, like and I've been a victim of that before. Like I really want to like get closer to what I want to achieve and stuff, and you're there and you're like, right, I need to do X, Y, Z from start to date, and then in what, a week or two you're
burnt out.
It's out the window and you're back to where you were. And I think it's so important to have someone that like gives you little bits. You're on a journey, like you said, implementing like little habits or little. Well, how to say it? Kind of like
like I said, just like poking you and almost accepting yourself and like accepting that your goal is gonna happen. You know what I mean? And like you know the stuff that you have to do, and you also know the reason why you want to do them. And you know the reason or what happens if you don't do them. You don't achieve your goal.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm definitely very, very proud of what has happened the last couple of weeks. I do feel like there's been almost another wake up for you.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks, man, because I do think like the kick that's going to happen, we're into off season now, the kick that's going to happen is insane. So if there was one thing that people who've watched the end of this, they're like sitting on the fence, they know they need to join. What do you think? What do you think we'd say to them?
I think we had a little chat about this a couple of weeks ago, and it was a big one. And again, like this is something that came out of me, or like you asked me a question like, what would I say to someone? And it was kind of like, it was only after when we started discussing it, I was kind of like, geez, I didn't even know I thought like that, or that could come out of me. And it was like, I think the most simple way and the most basic way to say is like, are you happy right now? And again, you can answer that question like, oh yeah, everything's great, thanks very much, how are you? And just skip by it. Or if you ask it again, no, are you actually happy?
Yeah.
And I know you've done a bit on it and you've broken it down a lot more, but I think like it might not have to be that specifically, but just something as simple as that can really, I don't know, flip a switch, and then you become more aware, you start asking more questions. And I think anyone that, like going back to like going on a journey and achieving a goal and just wanting to start, I think anyone, once you flip that switch and you're aware and you start asking these questions, that's it starting to come together. And that's the biggest part. And then after that, you'll just build and build and build. So yeah, I'm excited to see, even the last 10 weeks, I didn't think I could make such a big jump. And especially after, what was it, like the first month and a half, picked up the injury, and you're kind of going, oh, like there's the training plan out the window, like everything's been going so
we adapted though.
And that's
what
I'm saying, yeah. And you're kind of going, a lot of people think, do you know, like a lot of it's obviously this to do with fitness and health, but like your mindset and your mental health is just as important. It's,
if not more important.
I would after the last day, so I'd probably say it is, because I realised how much work you can do on that, and I think that'll only benefit you in whatever you want to go and do.
Absolutely. Thank you, brother, for that. Really good chat. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited for the next couple of weeks.
Looking forward to it.